Hey guys, Nate Sanders here of Impulse Game Studios, and today I'm going to start a short little YouTube series of basically showing you how to make a simple game in Unity. How I work, basically, or my general workflow. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and grab Unity from the Unity website. I will put the link in the description. Unity Free is what you're going to be looking for. I run Unity Pro, which costs money every month. As far as I know, they are both identical. Unity Free has two limitations that I know of. The first one being that they force you to use a splash screen no matter what. You can't remove it. So when you go to start the application, it'll say made with Unity Free Edition, I think. And then if you are going to sell whatever you end up making, you can only sell a certain number of copies before Unity will step in and say, hey, you need to go to Pro, or there's going to be all kinds of legal jargon and stuff like that. But yeah, so once you install Unity, go ahead and fire it up, and you'll see this projects. It'll show you your recent project history. Yours will probably be blank. Mine has a bunch of stuff that I'm probably going to blur out because some of it's obscene, some of it hasn't seen the light of day, and some of it is stuff that I'm currently working on that is a little hush-hush at the moment. But yeah, so the first thing you're going to want to do is click New, and then you'll get the project creation screen. I'm going to go ahead, just for, the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to call this Simple Tutorial, if I can spell. You're going to want to go ahead and click this 2D radio button, and then you're going to want to give it a path. I'm just going to stick it on the desktop. I'll go New Folder. What do I call it? Simple Tutorial. Alright, cool. So set that to 2D. I'm not sure if Free comes with analytics. I have it set to off. I almost never need this. Just go ahead and click off if you have the option. So you got the project name, a folder for it, 2D. I'm not going to worry about adding any asset packages. We're going to be coding everything from scratch, and it's not going to be anything complicated, so there's not really going to be any need to use any other packages. But I will explain what some of the more important ones are that you'll use a lot of the times in like bigger 3D projects. But yeah, then go ahead, once you have all this done, go ahead and click Create Project. Oh, there we go. Alright, cool. So now we're in Unity. Yours should look like this. Actually, yours probably looks like this. This is okay. I think especially for 2D. Actually, I think people will use this for 3D as well. I don't really like it because you have to toggle the views here. So if you want to change to what I'm going to be using for the tutorial and to not be as confused, go up at the top, click Window, and then go down to the third selection, Layouts, and then I use what's called 2x3. And I like this because you can see everything that you need to at any given time. There's still other windows that I'll probably, well, I don't know actually. Like, there's other windows that aren't included in this by default that you have to manually add, and then you end up toggling them anyway. But that's like for animation and animation controllers and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if I'm going to go that far down the rabbit hole for this tutorial. This is just going to be like a 101 essentially with some super simple scripting and stuff like that. But anyway, so if you're in the 2x3, which I suggest because that's what I'm going to be using for this, you'll see you have this laid out like this. I guess this is the 2x3. Oh. But so anyway, this is the scene view. This is where you're going to be doing the majority of your work. And this is essentially a like real-time way of, like, anything you do here, you will also see here in the game window. And this will show you what it looks like when it's compiling, or when you're running it, or if you're like running the exe off your desktop. This is emulating. It's like an emulator, I guess you could compare it to. And yeah, so like if you go up here and click play, you'll actually be doing the play testing in this window. If you click maximize play here and you click play, it'll take up the full window in here. I usually use maximize unless I'm doing some kind of debugging and I need to figure out what's broken. So I'll deselect this here. And a cool thing with Unity is you can pause while you're testing, and you can adjust values when there's actually stuff here. I know right now it's kind of like I'm just talking and there's nothing even here, but you can adjust stuff in the inspector, and then you can unclick pause and you can see the results without having to. Normally, before using Unity, like I come from not like I usually make my own engines. That's just how I started making games before Unity was prevalent, and you basically had to always do everything by scratch. And Unity at first I didn't really like it, but it's definitely been growing on me to the point where I'm making this video to show you guys how I work in Unity. So yeah, so you have the scene view, you have the game view, and then the next thing you'll see is the hierarchy. And now this is basically this will show you all the stuff in your scene view. Right now it's untitled because I didn't save this scene yet, and as you can see, the only thing really here is the camera. And when I click the camera, you'll then notice in the inspector over here, these are all the attributes, and you can add stuff to the camera with add component. I'm not going to touch any of this for now. I'm just going to use it as is, and well, if I do end up touching it, you guys will see because I'll be recording it. But yeah, so like if I click this little checkbox here that actually disables the camera, I don't suggest doing this. As notice now, right, the game view is now saying, hey, there's no cameras, which probably is not ideal since everything that you do in the game is going to be viewed through the camera. So that's why every scene comes with a main camera. Usually I only ever end up using one camera, but there are some instances where, like, if you want to have like a nice flashy user interface and you want it to overlay properly, but you also want to have your game in the background, the game has its own camera and the interface has another camera, you can do it that way. Usually what I do is I'll have an interface. Everything basically runs on the same camera, and I basically just call the interface when I want to call it, and then the interface will override the game view. You can do it. Real time though. It's really up to you. You can basically do whatever you want. But so anyway, this is the hierarchy view. This will show you all the stuff that you have in your current scene. Then over here you have the assets folder, and this folder, this will show you everything that is in your project, like everything. That's why I like this 2x3. You have access to everything at all times. And then one of the first things that I do when I start any project is I will make a few base directories. I'll probably end up adding a few more, but the main ones that I always start every project with are scenes. And notice I have the underscore here. And that underscore bypasses alphanumeric organization. So like this will always be on top essentially, and you'll see in a minute why that's important. And then I'll do audio. Oh, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do audio actually. Well, no, I'll leave it there. Audio is it's not complicated, but it's just like extra stuff. Yeah, I guess I'll show audio. So we got scenes, audio, then I'll do images, and then objects. Actually, I might not use objects. It's kind of redundant too. Well, see, I'm not sure if I'm going to be using prefabs at all, and I'm not sure if you guys even know what I'm talking about, but I'll put it there anyway. That might be a little extra. I don't think I need all of those folders, but these are the main folders that I will end up bouncing around, and usually there's a lot more here. Like if you look at the SMS1 or SMS2 assets directories, they are like, you scroll for a while, there's a lot of stuff there. But these are the main ones. You're going to be bouncing basically between scenes and scripts constantly. But yeah, no, so then let's go ahead and save the scene, which click File, Save Scene. Notice how Scenes is the first one. Look how clean and sexy that is. And I'm just going to call this Main Menu. Click Save. Cool, now we're all saved. All right, so I think I'm going to wrap this one up here. I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed what you watched so far. And if you have any suggestions for what you actually want me to make for this tutorial, that would be great. Leave a like or comment, and maybe subscribe if you've never seen this channel before.